to Twitch.
Oh no.
I mean...
To Twitch.
Oh no.
Oh, there we go. We went back
Yep.
live.
There we are. It was only a minor setback.
Temporary, very temporary setback. We were saying.
We were saying that there's a Mr. River Ashton walking up to one Mr. Richard Whitaker. River's a little smaller, jet black hair, dark coal eyes, olive in complexion. Mr. Whitaker, would you... The lady wants you inside for the night. She's concerned about... With the guests, she wants the extra security inside.
All right.
Top of the stairs.
All right. And I'll head
Well-
on to wherever he wants me to go.
If you look on your map, which, by the way, you do have one.
Have a
It's really
map?
nice.
Do
Yes.
we? Oh,
Yes, you do.
boy. It's
You
under my
do.
character sheet.
Well, it is there.
Wow.
Uh-huh. So, I love me a good architectural drawing, y'all, and it's fun to find. You see this house laid out, north and south, well, left and right. So west is the top of your map. I just didn't feel like flipping it.
No, it's okay. I'll write it down.
So north, I should put a north here. That's easy. I'll just, yes. Yeah, west, north. There we go. Thank you for that, sir.
No worries.
But as the rest of y'all retire for the evening, Genevieve has, as you are aware, retired early to the ladies' room. Literally her bedroom. Geraldine is going to lead you into her room. Propriety must be observed, of course. And the two gentlemen get to choose which of the two guest rooms on the southern end of the house they would like to remain in. Do we have a vote, gentlemen?
Gladly stay towards the room there in the west.
I appreciate that information. Are you going to do anything before you retire for the evening?
I believe we were waiting on Miss Bradford to settle our rooms. So in the meantime...
No, your rooms are fine. Genevieve retired, and Geraldine's just going to lead Maisie into her room. As the two of them bunking up will be maintaining propriety, as a young lady would not rest alone with two gentlemen in the house. Well, a gentleman and a priest.
No, I think I'll retire for the evening as well.
I think Maisie would get into a bit of a whispered conversation with her best friend about the state of her sister.
Well, I mean, we don't really have to whisper. Everybody's gone to sleep, and, it's just us in here.
It's in her room right next door.
Well, yeah, but, there's a wall there. She's asleep anyways. But, I don't know. It's possible. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, it definitely, it was clear from that her lacings were not as tight. She's definitely seems to be more careful about her posture. It seems like the usual signs to me, but...
Well, I mean, maybe that's a blessing in disguise, given the unfortunate events with Theodore.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would give her something to focus her energies on now that he's gone.
Might explain why she's a mite touchy. lately.
Yeah, she did seem more, normal. A little bit.
I mean, she's not that bad. She just, maintains propriety.
Yeah, I know. Almost got
I
thrown
have a
out of this house more than once.
That would never happen. I do have a question, though.
Mm-hmm.
What's this I hear? I heard a rumor.
What kind of rumor?
A kind of rumor that says that somebody went walking home last night with a certain deputy.
George and I have been spending a lot of time together, but it's mostly because there's been odd things going around in town. And you haven't been there. I had to have somebody to talk to.
What kind of odd things?
Like the Lakes boy was all cut up and hurt from something, but it didn't look like an animal attack. And when we were in the house, there was this, I don't know, creature. It didn't look like anything I've ever seen before that we attacked. God, I woke up the next morning and I thought it was a dream, but then I saw all the damage to everything. There was a brawl in the street. There's some odd visitors from out of town. It's just the list just keeps going.
Okay, well, obviously you need to give me more details. I need more details about this.
Well, I mean, I don't even know where to start. Ever since the funeral, things have just been getting wonky. That night, there was a huge brawl through the streets, and it was almost like something had come over all the boys in town because they just were not acting normal.
I know Silas not being there has kind of caused some ruckus around the house and the ranch. I mean, I heard something that, Mr. Billows was fighting with Mr. Ashton about, control of who's in charge around here. And I heard that apparently Leon got himself arrested. So without Silas.
Well, that might explain some of the tension, but yeah. And then there was this fellow that came into town to visit. Fancy fellow, some doctor, something. He showed up, armed for war. He was, and they hosted a high stakes poker game. Which Dad, Daddy, he goes play poker every single chance he gets, but nothing like that.
And
another fight broke out there.
Well, what were you doing hanging around the bar that much that you were involved in fights?
I mean, I had to go see what was happening, and you know how Daddy gets. I wanted to make sure that I kept an eye on him. But there's also... Did Mr. Bradford, did he like any kind of strange liquor? Because he ordered a whole bunch of liquor for the saloon downtown, and it's odd.
Well, I know that he liked to buy things on his trips out of town and that he occasionally brought back gifts of things. I mean, he made a point of sharing it round for everybody.
I mean, did he have any, like family, that was into distilling or something? Because we found all these liquor bottles that when you drank out of them, well, something weird happened to George when he drank out of it. But it has that same family crest or whatever that's all over this house.
Oh, you mean the thing with the cattle and the snake in it? I don't like that. It's disconcerting. But apparently it was Theodore's father that carved those in the wall. I don't know.
But, I mean, does he have any other family that, I
don't know. I mean, you were there for his parents' funerals, and I mean, I guess his brother's somewhere around. I haven't seen him in years.
God, I forgot he had a brother.
I don't think anybody has remembered that. The last I heard, he was chasing after that girl in San Francisco, so who knows?
Yeah, we'll probably never see him again.
Probably not.
Yeah, it's it's just weird that all this stuff started happening right after he died. You know, it's like without him here, he, you know, some kind of control he had over something just got let loose all over town.
I mean, he was a very dominating personality. I mean, it wasn't really let's be honest, it was not my personal. I didn't dislike the man, but I didn't really like him. He did all right by my sister, and he lets me stay here when I'm not at work, you know, in town with the children, and he wasn't creepy.
Are you sure he wasn't creepy given all the carvings everywhere? This house always gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Well, there are plenty of things about this house that give me heebie-jeebies. Theodore Bradford wasn't creepy. Jeff Billows, that man's creepy. He keeps staring at folk.
Hasn't he always been the type to stare at folk?
Yeah, well, there's that. But since he came back from war, it was very strange. He doesn't let that gun
that
go.
new man on the property, the big guy over there.
Oh, you mean Mr. Whitaker, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Whitaker?
Where did he show up from?
I guess he came with a couple of the new horses as they came down. Genevieve apparently likes him well enough. He takes good care of her horse, and you know that's about the only thing other than, well, maybe me and you that she likes.
I mean, he had to be taking good care of something because, you know, she doesn't let just anybody kind of help around about the house, especially if they're making mistakes like dropping platters.
I heard that when the boys got arrested, that apparently, well, you know, the lady's maid, the one that was, what was her name? Constantina, I think it was. Well, she ran off with one of the other young footmen, and they ran down in Mexico, and they're going to get married, apparently.
Oh.
Well, so I heard. But I don't know everything. You apparently know a whole lot more than I do.
I don't know. I just feel like I keep getting swept along for the ride, and it's just one thing after another, and there's no time to breathe and make sense of anything. You know, George right now is laid up, covered in burns from some explosion down at the mines.
George?
I mean, the deputy.
Well, why do you... Mr. Brooke is apparently attracted some tension. Well, this is better than Joshua freaking Covington.
I spoke to his daddy. He's not happy.
His daddy or is his uncle? I didn't know his daddy was in town.
Yeah.
Oh,
his
the
uncle.
sheriff's back.
Yeah, he's back in town, and he's not too pleased with the behavior of his nephew. I don't think he's gonna be bothering us too much longer.
Well, that's always positive. I did always wonder why Sheriff Covington never let that boy get out of control. That man is too principled and right in the head to let that happen.
Yeah. Well, he's one of not the sheriff. Joshua's one of the boys that was in that big old fight. He's been sitting down in the jail cell for past couple of days.
I can't think of a better place for the gentleman.
Right? It's been so nice. Room to breathe.
It has been very pleasant.
Oh. I'm tired. Dean,
All right.
we should get to bed.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some. It's been so late. I'm gonna get some rest.
We can always talk more tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we can. And as the clocks in the hall chime the hour, approaching 11 o'clock at night, is there anything that the doctor or the priest wish to discuss or consider? Or are they going straight to bed?
I think I'm gonna go straight to bed. It's been a long evening.
Yes, it has been a long evening. Dinner was very filling. Still strange, though, that we dozed off, but must be age catching up with me.
Must be.
Good night, Doctor.
Rest well, Father. I'll see you in the morning.
As the shadows begin to creep up, we hear the clock chime on the hall again. Large grandfather clock chiming the hour, striking midnight. As you all find yourselves asleep, except for Mr. Whitaker. Mr. Whitaker, you're on guard, but it's been a really long day.
Yep.
Are you tired at all?
Nope.
Yes, you did take a nap when you were supposed to be working, didn't you?
I did.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think I'm on to nap a bit some more.
Are you? You can, if it is your choice.
I think Richard would lie on one of the walls. Not sit, but just lean on a wall. And if everything's quiet for a couple of hours, he's just going to try to get a bit of a shut eye. Just a bit.
Mm-hmm. As you lean on this, there's a very nice fireplace in this grand central hall here for you, right there, and plenty of spaces and corners for you to place yourself. But as the night,
I think I'd place myself here, so I have line of sight
Where?
to this corner.
Yep.
Just so he has line of sight to almost all the guest bedrooms if someone was to open the door and leave.
Mm-hmm. The night draws cold in, quiet, minor sounds of creaking, but you all settle well enough. You drift off to slumber. Dreams don't seem to come, or if they do, they're pleasant enough, and you begin to consider happier memories. I need you all to make me a listen check.
Me too.
Mm-hmm. Everybody.
Right. I don't know. Thought I was maybe like talking in my sleep or something.
Mm-mm.
Whoops. Wrong button, but that's a fail anyway.
Oh, I hit the wrong button too.
Alright.
So far, none of
And
us are waking up.
I'm gonna burn the 4 luck to make that a success.
Okay.
Let's see, is it
Yeah, we
green
forgot
button
to
or
roll
black
luck.
button? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
we forgot. Okay, hold on. Go ahead and go ahead and roll.
Is it
Doctor, roll the listen check.
okay, black or green? I can't remember.
Green.
Green.
Green. Okay.
Green.
Oh, that was bad.
Doctor is very, very asleep. He's not gonna hear nothing for a while.
Yeah.
All of you roll a luck check, and if you fail, you can add a D10.
Okay, let me roll.
Only the father gets to add that D10.
I'm gonna immediately burn that luck.
Alright. You're going to immediately burn that luck to 6
I'm gonna burn 9 luck to
Burn
down
9
to
luck?
60. Yeah.
to down to an 80. Okay.
Yeah.
So, as the night unfolds, it's quiet, and the only people who hear anything are Maisie and the good father. There's a sound. You're not sure what it is, but it woke you up. The both of you. Something odd in the night. Not the creaking of the walls or the wooden floors. Not the snoring of someone in the house. Not the chime of the clock. Something scratching. Maybe? Or dropping? You're not sure, but it was enough to wake you up.
Sorry, my beard's itchy.
I guess Father'd get out of bed. He probably doesn't sleep a whole lot anyway, as far as like an 8-hour rotation. I'll get up and go poke around a little bit.
So Maisie hears this scratching sound too then.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll wake up and is and roll over to see if Geraldine is there with her.
She's not.
Does it look like her side of the bed is disturbed?
She looks like she was sleeping in it, but she's not there now.
And she just assumes, she's like, oh, that must be why I woke up. That she must have like got up for water or something. And she slides out of bed to go look for her.
There's a robe sitting at the foot of your bed, foot of the bed. If you
Yeah,
would like.
and probably slippers or something. Yeah.
Dressing gown.
Yeah. Just to make sure she's proper enough for the evening hours. And kind of just pokes her head out the door to see if anybody is outside.
You see a nodded off, half slumbering Richard in the corner. Who apparently snores. But he seems to be, well, it's dark, so he's about the only thing you can see. Father, are you doing anything?
Could I try to where does the scratching seem to be coming from? Like if I really try to listen on it, could I try to downstairs, out the door, outside?
Well, roll me another listen check, see if you can find it.
Okay.
Seems to be coming from where you are, the north end of the house. Maybe you can't quite tell. Sounds like it's moving though. Like through the walls or something. You're not sure. There's nothing you can see. The lamps are all out. The candles are dimmed. Are you gonna light one?
Yeah, I'll light one.
There would be one next to your bed, of course. Easy enough to do. Not even gonna.
I'll light one, and maybe I should tell them that they have a rodent problem.
So you walk out into the main hall here. There's a couple portraits on the wall, large couch in front of the fireplace with a couple end tables. Almost like a family sitting room at the top in this hallway that they've appropriated. And you see Maisie coming out of her room. Well, Geraldine's room, really. And the still slumbering Richard.
Ah, Maisie, it is good to see you. Do you hear the scratching as well in the walls?
Yeah, I thought I just made it up, but I thought I heard something and I woke up and Geraldine wasn't there anymore, so I went to go see what she'd gotten up to.
Perhaps they have a rodent problem. When Geraldine comes back, perhaps you should mention something.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that I didn't wake up right when she left. Father, would you mind coming downstairs with me and checking the place out? Between the noises and and everything that's been happening lately, I'm a little spooked.
Of course. I will lead the way.
As you turn to look down the stairs.
I just wanted to know, can I roll to see if their conversation woke me up? If the scratching didn't.
Yes, that was going to be my next thing.
I like to be awake, y'all. Yeah,
I'd
I'm awake.
prefer if you were asleep.
Same, though.
I'm sorry.
Well,
Oh.
that was going to be step 1. Step 2, as you go to turn, talk yourself down the stairs, see what might be scratching in the walls. A scream breaks the silence of the night. Coming from the ladies' room.
Maisie will turn to rush.
Yeah,
there.
I'll follow. Since I have the lamp or candle.
And probably at the scream, she will also yell for the doctor. Ah, wake up!
Doc, let's see if you wake up. I mean, she is yelling across the house.
But he did fumble.
But you did fumble. So I am going to make you roll for it.
Pretty well asleep there. Nope, and I'm still out.
The doctor's still asleep. If you're going to want him. Richard, your employer is screaming.
I need to go check on the lady.
Maisie's probably already halfway to the door.
Yeah, he's gonna follow Maisie. Let her go in first because it's the ladies' room. So she needs. My employer needs to be presentable if I'm to step into the room. Because I wouldn't want to. Yeah.
Nope. You wouldn't want to do that for a maid. Well, I mean, she's a widow. But as you rush in the door, Maisie, I need you to. You see a odd sight. Very odd. Lamp is still burning. Sideboard table. You see Genevieve batting at something in front of her. They look like motes of light, but it's too dark for them to be those dust in the sunbeams. And then you see one kind of fall, and you hear her scream again and just kind of bat at her arm and shoo it away, and you see fire and heat. And I need you to roll me a sanity check. You don't lose any sanity, but there's these small motes of floating fire surrounding Genevieve and attacking her. And they start to slowly turn towards you. And you see a couple coming down. What are you gonna do, Maisie?
Given that she's in a robe and slippers, Maisie would call behind her back to the gentleman and just say, "Damn the proprietor, get in here!"
I'm right here.
As you walk in the door, Richard, you also see these motes of light that Genevieve is batting at. She kind of passes out on the bed.
And I fail.
You do fail. You do fail that one. Do. You only lose 2 sanity.
Ah. That is fine.
As you see these motes of light and fire floating around, swirling, beginning to dance in the darkness as they come closer and closer to you. As they come closer, they look like... Is that a bug? It might be, but it's not flying right, and it's too rounded to be a beetle, and it's not some fly or wasp.
How
But there
big
are
are
these
these
things.
motes?
Maybe as they get closer to you, maybe the size of your thumb.
Okay.
This is some mosquitoes. A little bit bigger, maybe the size of a cockroach. As they come in at you and flying at you, you see flame and tentacles. Things? No, those are feet. Those have to be legs hanging down from that. Weird things. And I need you and Maisie to make me a dodge roll.
What's up with insects around here?
Welcome to the American Southwest. Ooh,
I
good.
succeed.
You succeed. Kelly does not. Kelly, there we go. You are I'm sorry about this, Kelly. One of these things lands on you, and it begins to... It burns as it hits you, and you take 5 heat damage. I also need you to make me a con check at the same time. Well, that's good. Nothing else happens. You just feel hot. It's burning you as it sits there on your skin, and you see this thing much closer now. It's rounded, and those must be legs, and kind of like teeth on the legs, and it's a little bit much bigger than a mosquito, almost the size of like a horsefly or a flying cockroach kind of thing.
Is there like a wash basin or something in this room full of or a pitcher of water or something that she could pick up? And
there's a vanity behind a screen in the far side of the room. That's between, and there's a 15 or 20 of these things between you and it.
Stop, drop, and roll.
Well, she's not on fire. It's just hot.
For now.
So far. And Mrs. Bradford has passed out.
Mm-hmm. There seem to be a few kind of landing oddly, but they have new attention is moved towards you as they're going to begin sliding towards you and moving around you towards Mr. Whitaker and the father and the doctors who is still asleep.
Is there I don't know. I think she would try to move towards the bed and maybe grab like a pillow or something she can swing to bat them away, basically.
Okay.
And trying to get to Mrs. Bradford because she wants to try and get her up and out of the room.
Alright. Yeah, that's just roll me a dodge to see if you can get around them. Easy and for you. Ooh, no. And one of these other ones is gonna land on your back of your neck. And you're gonna take 9
Okay,
heat damage.
I'm going to yank Maisie out of the room. I'm like, I got this, ma'am. Stay back. Please.
Okay. You just have to save Jenny.
I'll get to her.
I also still need you to make that con check, Maisie.
That's what I thought you were gonna say.
Very good. Very good.
When she comes out of the room, is the thing still on her?
Well, they're kind of floating around her. It isn't quite sitting on there. I do need you to make me a sanity check, Father, now that you can see them on her. These... Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Been seeing all sorts of stuff.
So, from Richard's point of view, these things burn like jellyfish if you touch them.
Yep,
Right.
they're that thing on fire.
So, Richard's gonna put on his leather gloves that I have. And I'm gonna swat them away as I make my way to Geraldine or Genevieve is on the bed.
Genevieve.
Genevieve. So as I make my way to Genevieve, I'll swat them away with a gloved hand.
All right then. Let's see something. You make your attack roll, and they're gonna try and dodge.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm only gonna roll one because it makes my life easier.
Yeah, I have an extreme success.
Okay. Yeah, you're definitely gonna get through them and swat them away. You feel them; they're hot. Even through those leather gloves, they're hot. Like picking up a red hot poker in your hand. It's not gonna burn you, but you definitely.
It's starting to feel
You feel
like
it.
a burn.
And they're starting to focus their attention on you.
Can I roll some damage?
Mm-hmm. You can.
Oh, wow! Well, that's 2 points of damage as I swat away the bugs.
That probably kills all of them. You've probably defeated them all.
I win!
They're. Have you ever swung at a hornet's nest, Mr. Whitaker?
Oh boy, yes.
They're might angry now.
Yeah, I figured.
And you definitely have their attention. What are you trying to do as you swat your way through this swarm?
Pick up Geraldine and get out of the room with her.
Genevieve?
Genevieve. Why do they have names that both start with G?
They're sisters.
Maisie, perhaps we should get you to the doctor. You look injured.
Yeah, it stings everywhere, my neck and my arms.
I'm sure he will know what to do. Let Richard grab the woman on the bed.
Yeah, I mean, I can't go back in there.
If you can't remember, her name's Mrs. Bradford.
That's right, yeah. I didn't want to get it wrong, so just blanket it. I want to lead her towards Doc's bedroom.
Alright. You can get her out of the way. These insects, fire-causing insects, are definitely focused on Mr. Whitaker at the moment. Mr. Whitaker, I need you to make me what are you going to do? Attack them or dodge them?
Well, have I picked up Genevieve?
You haven't done.
Then I figure I'm holding her with both hands, so I'm gonna try to dodge them as I make my way out of the room.
Alright. I mean, it definitely.
I
starts
burn
swarming down.
69 points of... No, I don't.
To avoid 7 points of damage, sir?
Yeah, no. Ow, 7.
Seems worth it.
That's still a lot. 7 is a lot.
Yes, this is that hot. You're beginning to blister in the back of your neck, which isn't covered by the gloves on you, and you feel them landing on your shirt and starting to burn a little bit through the cotton of your shirt.
But
smoke.
Does the fabric catch fire?
No, it's more that like smolder burn where it doesn't really burn, it just you feel it burning through
Okay.
the fabric. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I do need you to make me a con check.
Yep. Con. Oh yeah, that's not Mr. George. I have 100% con. I'm gonna burn that 3 luck points to succeed.
Okay. Alright. As you begin to feel the fire swarming around you, a couple of them have landed on Mrs. Bradford. You can see a couple burns around her arms, and as you carry her out of the room, We're gonna cut over to the father and Maisie as you're running for the doctor. I'm assuming you're moving right quick and in a hurry.
Yeah, we want to leave those things behind us.
Alright. So you're gonna wake up the doc.
Yeah, I want to get into his room and then just like shut the door like right behind us. Hopefully a wood door will stop.
I don't know. Pretty deep slumber here.
So you and Maisie are running in and slamming the door in the face of Mr. Whitaker, who's carrying an unconscious Genevieve Brightwood.
Is he really?
May or may not be pregnant.
I'm following behind it. Just ow. Well then.
I didn't know he was right behind us. I thought we were ahead of him.
I mean,
Sorry.
but not by much. But
Okay, yeah. No. I definitely. I want to let them in, but then shut the door and try to keep as many as the weird firebugs out.
Alright. Roll me a luck roll.
It's only 6 points.
Can you burn luck on a luck roll?
No, you can't, because it changes where the roll would be.
There are two things you cannot luck: sanity and luck. This is where it would be useful for you to have an advantage and support from your friends in the channel, but they don't like you tonight, Father.
How unlucky.
Alright. So you burst in, Father, I'm gonna say 4 people running into your room, possibly screaming for your attention. We'll wake you up.
I mean, could you have him roll? Just for fun?
I want to see how long it takes you to wake up. Yeah, let's see.
Let's see. All right. It's not happening. It's not the night for listening.
This is the deepest sleep ever.
Right.
It's like the doctor has been doing surgery for like the past 170 hours, and now he's just unable to be awakened.
The feather bed quality is just top notch.
Right.
Mrs. Bradford does have some very nice beds. They are very, very nice. As the three of you and unconscious Genevieve Bradford burst into this room and slam the door shut, it takes a couple seconds and I guess somebody has to run over and almost shout your name in your ear before you wake up to a sight of Miss Coldwater in a dressing gown and slippers. I'm assuming the priest is in his robes. Mr. Whitaker is still dressed, but much more heavily armed than he was the last time you saw him. Holding an unconscious Genevieve Bradford in her, sleeping attire. And you see a bunch of little red flowery things around the back of Mr. Whitaker's head.
Oh, they made it into the room with us. Oh, that's lovely.
You should have shut the door.
There aren't as many. There are only like 4 or 5, but they are in here.
I tried. If you would have run faster.
I'm
good on short distance.
Waking up from my slumber. What is going on?
It appears the demons have followed us here too, Doctor.
And
What?
then I'm assuming that I see the flying whatever things.
Yeah, I need you to make me a sanity check.
I figured that was coming. Oh, extreme. Yes.
But you're like, there are weirder things I've woken up to. There are definitely weirder things I've woken up to at this point. But I need the priest and Mr. Whitaker to try and make me dodge rolls.
Is it, just so I can remember, is it when you fail your sanity check that you know what you've seen for what it is? Or is it when you fail that your brain sort of tries to find an explanation? If you fail your intelligence check, you understand what you've seen. Oh, okay.
But If you have your sanity, it's about it's like a cool check in Warhammer.
All right.
You're about maintaining your composure and if you can control yourself.
Okay. I'm burning the luck that I need to get 45.
Alright. So you managed to dodge away from these 4 flying bugs of fire, and you can see them a little closer now. They seem to be swarming, trying actually to get closer to you, Mr. Whitaker. Or more accurately, who you're holding.
I think I'm gonna put Genevieve on the bed. I'm being somewhat careful because I know she's burnt, but this is time sensitive. And I want to get my knife out because I'm not touching them with my hands anymore. And knowing that a Bowie knife is, that wide, I'm gonna use it as a fly swatter to try to knock them away.
I have a very, very important question for you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
What is the handle of your knife made out of?
Elephant ivory. All right, keep going.
No, probably wood and leather.
Alright.
Let me check. Normally it's wood covered in, I'm gauging from, old medieval swords. It used to be wood, and then you cover it with leather, or you carve the wood into something. And I think in my case it would be wood, just pure wood.
Alright. So you're gonna swat at these with your knife.
Yep. More precisely, I'm trying to kill one.
Mm-hmm.
Not out of curiosity, are these kind of grouped together, or are they pretty much separated?
They're kind of flying around.
Are they trying to dodge?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you swat at them? There we go. They
Yeah,
came
I have
through
a
finally.
success. Took a while to show up.
That. Nope. You managed to hit at least. Yeah, you managed to hit one
All right.
and knock it away.
So that would be a total of 7 points of damage.
Mm-hmm. You see this kind of thing, flame start to extinguish, but it kind of, as it hits the wall that you knock it into, but it starts guttering like a candle trying to light itself again.
Thank you, not Father Makarov, for the donation. Strange, isn't it? I figure not Father Makarov wants to give all of us an advantage.
I mean, that sounds like it.
It does
Hard to
sound
say.
like it.
Makes sense.
Makes all the sense.
I'm okay with it. Have fun.
All right, I'll fix the overlay during that time.
Mm-hmm. And it starts to gutter like a flame that's been snuffed out, but it's still smoldering. It starts to light itself back up. I need y'all to make me a listen check.
Oh, no. This would be the one that I make. Of course.
Once he's awake, he's just on the dot.
I'm a heavy sleeper. What can I say?
It's a doctor thing.
He's
It's-
like, look, I invented these things. They're called earplugs. You just put them in your ear.
Wait, listen, you said?
Yep.
I'm too busy
You,
swatting
A
flies.
little busy, yeah.
You're busy swatting fiery incendiary flies that want your, well, either you or Mrs. Bradford. Probably sure it's Mrs. Bradford, but you're not 100%
But
sure.
if they get Mrs. Bradford, they also get my paycheck, so they're after me.
Mm-hmm. And the security that she provides for you. But the three of you hear something else. And it makes a might bit of sense that the three of you hear it. You've heard it before. A chittering, giggling sound. Like children in springtime. Coming from behind your door, Doctor.
Does anyone else hear that?
Are there still like firebugs roaming around?
There are 3 and 1 gutter in itself, but yes.
Are there any like shoes here?
I'm assuming the doctor has shoes.
I mean, like shoes on someone's feet.
They're probably not currently on my feet, so there
You
are
did what-
shoes around.
Can I pick up a shoe and go over to the one sputtering on the ground and smack it like a cockroach?
Roll me an unarmed.
I've never actually had to roll any kind of. There it is.
Yep. You smack it. I'm not even going to try and have it dodge. As it kind of smolders out, and you're pretty sure it wasn't like the violence of the smack that killed it, like crushing a cockroach, but more like extinguishing a flame.
Okay.
Wow, your shoe's better than my knife.
In smoldering a flaming insect. And as you see that and hear that, what are you gonna do, Maisie?
I think she's
Yeah.
gonna look to the other ones. Huh?
There are 3 more.
I think she's gonna look to the other gentlemen who are awake in the room and just say, "You gotta put them out like fire." And then she'll see if there's like a wash basin in here that has water in it, and see if she
Of
can.
course.
Please be careful with my shoes, Miss Coldwater. Father, help me with this blanket and see if we can't throw it over the others and put them out that way.
Okay.
So we're gonna grab the blanket from the bed and see if we can't just kind of grab the corners and drape over the other bugs.
Alright
Or
then.
things.
Things works. Go ahead and roll. Ooh, but it's gonna be okay. You're gonna get them.
What would you like me to roll?
Just rolling unarmed.
Okay. Oh,
As you see this, you see that a couple of the corners of the blanket are still kind of smoldering underneath. And you're gonna have to like push down on it to get it out.
Maisie might actually come over with like the wash basin and dump the water on the blanket.
You see a sizzle of smoke start building up and coming through. You're pretty sure you put them out. And you hear that laughing through the door. It's louder.
Somebody help me with like. There's gotta be like a dresser or something in here. Like somebody move the dresser in front of the door.
I will attempt to move a dresser in front of the door.
I'll help the father.
Which door?
Isn't there
More than one?
Oh, there's one that
No,
leads to
there's two.
outside.
And there's one that leads to the room next door.
Oh,
isn't there?
fudge.
Yep.
How many dressers are there?
There's one wardrobe in this room.
There's a dresser, there's a bed frame, and somebody's foot on the third door.
Makes sense.
Whichever one they're moving the dresser in front of, Maisie will go to the other one and just throw her weight against it temporarily.
I mean, there is a nightstand that currently has a hurricane lamp on it, oil lamp. Couple nice curtains in here. So you're gonna move the dresser in front of which door?
The one where I hear the children. If I can depict on like where it is. If it's coming from like all around me, I'll do like the one that goes into the hallway.
yeah,
You're
this is
not
probably the one you guys came in from the hallway.
Yeah, I assume it would be coming where the creepy bugs came from.
You're not 100% sure, but it does sound more like it's outside the room, possibly coming from where you were thinking, but You're still not 100% sure, but moving that wardrobe, I'll say if they can get all three of them together to do it, you can probably do it without any effort. So now we have an unconscious Geraldine, or excuse me, now you got me doing it. You got an unconscious Genevieve Bradford laying on the bed. You've got Mr. Whitaker, the doctor, and the priest moving a very large, very intricately carved armoire in front of a door, scratching up a little bit of Mrs. Bradford's floors, but that can be taken care of.
I was gonna say this is like the least important thing right now.
I'll pray for her new floors.
I mean, Mrs. Banks was quite worried about her floors. Just throwing that out there. And you've got the door to the outside to the patio, or to the porch, and you've got the door to the side room.
Do any of these doors have locks?
Yeah, wouldn't they have like deadbolts?
Well, they have locks. Not all of them have deadbolts. There's a deadbolt to the door outside.
Because we can always flee, though we don't know where Geraldine is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'd really suck to leave her behind.
Where is your sense
Coming
of
from the
morality, father?
Yeah. Everyone for himself.
What was it? What was it that the Bible said? You have to run away and never look back, otherwise you get turned into a pillar of salt.
I am best horse rider here. I will go. Trust me.
Are you though? I'm not George anymore.
Oh, that's true. Maybe.
And Maisie's not too bad on a horse herself.
Yeah. Yeah, she points the horse to ride.
Maisie, go get the deadbolt on the door outside.
Maisie, as you-
Send the young
as you-
girl.
Exactly.
No, I don't
As
want to
you
send her outside, just to the door.
As you do so, Maisie, I need you to roll me a spot hidden, looking out that outside door. With the
And do.
window. You notice something. It's a little odd for you, because you weren't there. It's dark outside. What moonlight and starlight there was at dinner time is gone.
Nope.
But it's not a darkness like clouds. It's darkness like that void you looked into at dinner. A vast, empty darkness. And all you can see is streaks of lightning. Bright green lightning. Color of poison. And I need you to roll me a sanity check.
Why do we keep sending the 19-year-old first?
I did not send. Well, yes, I sort of sent you into the room. I'm sorry.
You have a lot of sanity. You can afford these rolls.
Actually fair. That is completely fair. She's got that teenage can't touch me bravery.
You are disconcerted by this, but you bolt the door shut. There's nothing out there except darkness and lightning. You hear that chittering sound, that giggling sound. It's louder, closer.
Guys, I don't think we can use this as a way out.
Why?
What is out there?
Nothing. But crazy lightning, it's kind of green, it's really black, I can't see the sky. I wouldn't go out there if I were me.
you are you, so I suppose we're not going anywhere.
Is it? Okay. It sounds like it is the same storm that was at the Mrs. Banks's ranch.
The father's right. That does sound exactly like what we saw at the Banks Feast.
You. Oh goodness. It's.
We had
Did
to.
any-
That is where George became unconscious when we had to fight the demons that spawned from almost from the storm itself.
Well, then we really shouldn't go outside.
Wait, I'm lost. What is? And I think Richard's saying that as he's still sweating away at the bugs. What do you mean the bad storm? What is going on?
There is something happening in the area of Four Corners, Richard. I feel like demons are about. We have been trying to find the root of the problem for some time. The last time we encountered them, it was during a storm much like this one is described. Do you have more weapons?
And I think without saying a word, Richard hands a tomahawk to the priest.
I will try my best.
I whip it out of the sheath on my belt, hand it to you, and then I'll throw another one gently on the bed, close to Genevieve.
Hits Genevieve, she dies.
Flinging my axe into Genevieve. No, but I'm putting it in there, and I'm also leaving my knife, and I'll get my rifle out. I'm like, at this point, if these are demons, you said. That it, Father?
Yes. They appear to be able to be killed by mortal weapons, but fire has proven to be very useful against them.
Well, I don't have fire, but I have a firearm, and I'm gonna try to shoot at one of them.
There's nothing to see.
Oh, the bugs are all out.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm gonna go out at the window, and I'm gonna look outside.
He just shoots into the ceiling.
Well, no, but like Richard is primed to. You know, there's a fight. I have to do a thing.
As you go to look out the door, you see darkness and black. And Richard, you've lived on this ranch for a while.
Mm-hmm.
At least a couple months, right?
Mm-hmm. About a month and a half, yeah.
You're right familiar with this property.
Mm-hmm.
You've been here before. You look around. You know you should be able to see the lights from the bunkhouse. They're not there. You can't see even the candle hanging in the lantern that's kept for the horses. That's not there either.
This is not normal.
No, it is not.
Roll me a spot hidden, Richard.
I'm about to lose my sanity. You know what? Today is the day where I burn all my luck. I'll burn 7 points of luck. Right now. There you go. Done. I got it. I got my spot hidden.
You have another character back in town, you're fine.
I'm not trying to go through all the characters.
No. Richard, you do notice something. You notice something creeping as you look down. Kind of flowing down through. It's like a fog. Creeping fog climbing up over the porch of the second floor. You watch darkness seeming to swallow that outside porch, slowly moving towards the door.
Padre. Do you
Yes.
ever think I see the darkness of Satan? It's eating at everything outside.
You can see something outside. I walk over and peer out into the darkness.
It wasn't a call for you to waste your sanity away.
While this is going on, you said there was a hurricane lamp style lamp.
Mm-hmm.
In the nightstand, are there any like matches or anything?
Mm-hmm. There's a Lucifer igniter.
Maisie's gonna take those things as fire.
Alright.
We actually light the lamp now.
You light the lamp. It's very easy to do. They're designed to be lit in the night. That's what they're there for. But, Father, you look out, and with Richard pointing it out to you, you see this black, inky darkness creeping up the side, this porch. And you're more accurately, balcony, as you are all on the second floor of this house. Slowly creeping towards you. And you see streaks of green lightning flashing in the sky. And you hear that laughing, giggling sound. It's closer now. It's behind you. And I need you and Mr. Whitaker to make me a dodge roll.
To dodge a 4-year-old?
Foul demons.
Nice knowing you, everyone.
I mean, why are you assuming that?
Because we're
We
close to a
always-
balcony and you're asking us to dodge?
Well, you're still inside the house. You haven't gone out the balcony yet. But you're
I
both
just
gonna...
imagine there's a glass window.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Yes. You're both going to take 5 points of damage as these large, you feel something wrap around you, grab around you. It's like rope, heavy, heavy rope that cuts across your shoulder. You feel it slice into you and start pulling you away from the door towards the door to the room and the bedroom that the father was sleeping in. Not 15 minutes ago.
Roll for struggle.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Do Maisie and the doc see this happening?
What you see is Mr. Whitaker and the priest suddenly jerked back from the door to the outside towards the door to the priest's room. You see them slowly start to bleed. But you don't see anything else. Father, what are you doing while this is going on? Or, excuse me, Doctor. I know what the father's doing. He's getting jerked around.
I'm freaking out a little bit.
So, upon seeing the father and Richard jerk back like that, I should kind of be familiar with what I saw happen to June and what was happening at the Banks Ranch. So, the doctor will pull his Bowie knife and attempt to go after whatever's grabbing the father. So I'm going to try to go up towards the father with the knife and try and get what's got a hold of him.
Stabs me in the neck.
I need you to make... I'm
Mercy
not going to
kill.
be that evil. I'm not going to be that evil. I will say that you need to make me an attack roll at -2 because you see nothing.
All right. I'm going to use advantage on this. So I guess that makes it, what, -1?
-1.
Okay. So let's give that a shot. Oh, it's a fail across the board.
Nope. You go to swing out with your knife to strike something that's controlling the priest, but it pulls him further back again and just jerks him right out of your grasp and your sight. Maisie, what are you doing?
Freaking out, first of all. Second of all, she didn't see what had happened. She hadn't seen this before, so she wouldn't know what the hell's going on.
Nope.
But she might try and is the door to the other room open then? She might try and go see if she can close the door.
You're gonna have. Alright.
I don't think she would know that it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, because they're kind of in the doorway. You'd have to go beyond them to get there.
Yeah, that's what she would do, because she would just see them getting pulled that direction, and she wouldn't know that it's by something physically not there.
Macy, I'm being pulled by something that's not physically here.
I mean, you see them move, you go to shut the door. Roll me a luck roll. You shut the door, and you do not hit either Mr. Whitaker or the doctor, or excuse me, the priest. But that's all that happens. Unfortunately for the priest and Mr. Whitaker, I'm right sorry to have to do this, gentlemen. You both feel something snake around across the side of your neck and bite down hard across your neck.
Ow.
And start sucking the life out of you.
There wasn't much left to begin with.
As it draws the blood out of you. And luckily you only take 3 points of damage to your strength score.
That would have killed me.
To your strength score.
Oh. I don't like that. I don't like this game at all. I'm not about to die, but I don't like that.
What, 3 would have killed you? Nice to know.
No, 2d10. I could have died from that.
Yeah, you could have. That goes as you you feel it pulling out the blood out of your neck. Kind of like, well, a leech, but much bigger, stronger. Feel its teeth digging into your neck, biting down across you. As it does so and starts sucking through both of you, the other people in the room can see red. Red growing, starting at this large, bulbous head, leading down to this dangling tentacles. And I need everybody in the room to roll me a sanity check.
So if I were to try to hit it, I could reasonably see, hit where the blood is?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I'm gonna fail myself. Oh no, I got it. Wow.
I failed mine, but I'm gonna see how many points I take before I decide whether or not to burn the luck.
9.
Yep, burning the luck.
How much luck are you burning, Doctor?
Let's see, 5.
Doctor, this is clearly some ethereal beast. I don't think you can reason with this.
As you do, so you burn the 5. It is very disconcerting to see this again, Doctor. You are familiar with what you saw, this experience. You saw this, something very similar, almost destroy June. Mr. Whitaker, Father Boris, what are you doing?
Am I within reach of the bed?
Yes, Genevieve Bradford is still unconscious on the bed. You're kind of within reach of it. It's pulled you away from the door and
All right.
outside, pulling you towards the door to
Then
the other room.
I'll-
You haven't gotten there.
All right. So I'll take the knife that I left on the bed, that I mentioned earlier, and I'm gonna try to cut away at the tentacle, free myself
Alright.
from it.
I'll allow that.
Should I use my
as
advantage?
If this was a movie scene,
One more
Queen,
time.
I Want to Break Free would start playing, and I want to just try to rip it off.
Okay, so let's do one thing first. Success.
Oh,
roll
wait.
the damage. Yeah, I didn't roll your. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it didn't
Well,
roll the damage, so that would be a 3 because it sucks.
Yeah, 3 damage, and then you feel your knife drive through this, but it's hard, Mr. Whitaker. You're almost feeling like this is almost like trying to gut a whale or a seal. It's
Oh,
hard,
boy.
it's rubbery.
Mm-hmm.
Your knife is not penetrating anywhere near as much as you would like, or really at all. Father, you wish to attempt to get out of this grapple?
Yes.
Yeah, which I means you need to make an opposed strength check.
Okay.
Hard success. Very good. You managed to pull yourself out of
I'm wrestling with nothing.
well, it's starting to turn a little pink now. You can see it. You pull yourself out of it. It's still kind of you pull yourself away from this maw that's got you here. You're out of the tentacle, but it's within reach of you still, sir. And when this happens, Mr. Whitaker, you're going to take a 10 to your strength score.
Okay, tell me that these things can come back. Doctor, these things can come back, right?
Your strength score?
Yes.
Yes. Your strength score recovers at one hit. I think it's like, it recovers within out of combat.
Okay,
It's the
it's
same
not
thing
like
as bleeding.
it's not like 1 a week. All right.
No, it's not like hit points, but you're bleeding and you need to staunch the bleeding. Speaking of, Father, you are bleeding from the neck. And you're going to take 2 damage as you bleed from the neck. You're not losing strength anymore. You're just bleeding.
So
And
does he pull away?
Yeah, he pulled away. And
Okay.
until you get treated, you're going to continue to lose blood. You're going to take damage every round until you get that treated. Maisie! You see this growing pink abomination floating there, and
And there were some weapons on the bed, right?
oh, there are a whole mess of weapons on the bed.
There's a tomahawk left.
And you got fire in your hands.
Yeah. Don't know if I want to burn the house down.
Don't do a George, Maisie. It's not worth it.
She's gonna try to go
Totally
for the
worth it.
tomahawk first. And does it still seem like it has a? Does it just? Can she now see that it has a grip on people?
Mm-hmm. You can now see the blood flowing through whatever this thing is. It's bright red. It looks bulbous and unnatural.
So I think she would take the tomahawk and go for to try and hit one of the tentacle arm things that's actually wrapped around the father, our priest friend, to see if she can get it to let him go, basically. But I don't know what I should use for that.
Yeah, use a fighting. You use your. Do you have fighting brawl?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You-
brawl or thrown, if you want to throw it.
I don't think she would want to throw it.
All right, and the damage is a D8.
Okay. So
As-
that's yeah, that's the same. That's my brawl skill anyway. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As you swing out, you just glance off the side of this large rope-like tentacle that's wrapped around Mr. Whitaker, and you feel that you're just. It's almost like it moved and knew where you were going to be by a half second. Mr. Whitaker,
Yep.
what would you like to do as you feel this large maw sucking on your throat, pulling out all of your blood?
I'm gonna try to cut away at the tentacle again. Because I'm getting too weak to do anything else. And that's a success for 7 damage. Oh, wait. I have a thing.
Hmm? Oh yeah, don't you have a talent?
Yeah, I'm gonna spend 10 luck points to get another attack right now. Right now! And to make sure, I'll use my advantage on it.
Alright, that gives you a +2.
That's a
Success.
success for 6 damage.
You managed to cut this tentacle off with first strike. You feel it kind of jam in, and this is hard, rubbery and hard, and you cut down. And the second strike, you pull down even harder, and you're free of the grapple, and whatever was maw and teeth was sucking on your throat. You feel it almost scream through your mind, like to give you a migraine, through everybody's mind at this moment. And you now are free of whatever was this, and you're going to take only 1 point of damage, but again, you are also bleeding, and you will continue to take damage every round until you get that looked at.
Mhm.
Doctor.
Yes. And upon seeing the father free himself, I'm gonna grab probably something off the bed, a sham, a sheet, something, and try and stop the bleeding from the father's neck here, so he doesn't bleed out on us.
You didn't bring your doctor's kit with you in your leather bag?
It's in the room somewhere. I just don't know if I have time to grab it, so I'm making do with what we got.
This doesn't seem sanitary. Okay.
So you're going to attempt first aid on the priest.
On the priest, yes.
Mhm.
Oh, I will spend the 4 luck to make that.
You spend the 4 luck to stop him bleeding.
Yeah.
You get 1 hit point back, Father, for the
I
success.
I appreciate you.
Daisy, what are you gonna do? As you see Mr. Whitaker cut this giant rope-like tentacle off of himself and kind of pulls himself away from whatever's there.
I think. I think Maisie. Sorry, I'm stuck.
It's fine.
Maisie's not a fighter.
Maisie can run and scream if that is her choice.
Oh, but she wouldn't do that either.
You don't have your shotgun with you, do you?
No, I don't have any of my guns. That's the problem.
But I had a rifle that I'm fairly sure I had to let go of when I got the knife if I was grappled.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can she...
It's laying on the floor right next to you.
Okay, I think she would kind of like slide on the floor for it.
Okay.
And try and blast the thing.
You say slide on the floor?
Yeah. And try and blast the thing kind of in the main body of it because she doesn't want to start aiming anything towards anybody.
It's probably a lever action, so just...
It is.
How many shots around does she get?
The Winchester 73 has one shot around, because even though it's lever action, apparently it's one shot around.
Well, I mean, you do have to eject the cartridge.
Oof.
Ooh, stream success. What's the damage on that?
It's 2d6.
Roll that. 2d6. You see the bullet puncture into something. It does a meaty amount of damage. That's about all.
Is it making any sounds or anything? Do we hear like...
Well, you heard it scream through everybody's head, like
Yeah.
to cause a migraine when Mr. Whitaker cut off the tentacle rope that was holding him in place. Mr. Whitaker, by the way, you're going to take 6 points of damage.
Strength or regular damage?
Regular damage as you were bleeding from the throat.
Oh, okay. I'm going to first aid myself once my turn comes.
When you see this, and you see this bullet fire, and you see all of this happen, all of a sudden, there's nothing there. The tentacle you cut off, Mr. Whitaker, is gone. The creature, whatever you just done saw, sucking the life out of you, is gone. You go to put your hand next to your throat. There's no blood.
Wait, what?
I need Maisie and the doctor to make me a powers check at disadvantage.
That is a
Kelly, Maisie, you pass out. Doctor, you stare into this black void, like darkness outside, and suddenly the darkness isn't there. It's a road leading up a mountain. It's leading to a mesa. There are stars above. Roll me an intelligence check. You know these stars. You've seen them before. It's not far from here. You're pretty sure you're still in New Mexico somewhere. You feel cold. The desert at night is cold. You see large torches burning. You see stairs leading up and up and up. And you hear a voice in your head come to you again, saying, "Come to me. Open the door and come to me." And suddenly, you stop. And you're going to take 1 point of sanity loss. As all of a sudden, the doctor pitches forward and passes out. Mr. Whitaker, Father, you have 3 unconscious people in this room. You have an armoire in front of a door. You have creeping darkness outside. What are you going to do?
But there's no danger.
Nope. There's nothing you can
Richard,
see.
help me move them to the bed.
Yep. Yep.
Is there any water left in the room to like sprinkle it on their face?
Yes, there's water in the pitcher on the sideboard, nightstand. A nice porcelain pitcher with a porcelain water basin.
Careful not to take the chamber pot.
That's under the bed.
I want to take it and I want to like pour it on the doctor's face, just splash him, because he would probably know how to maybe take care of, wake the other guys up.
You might
Hi.
have some smelling salts.
You pour this water on the doctor's face. He wakes up.
Doctor, what happened?
What did you do?
I poured
Where am
water on your
Where?
face. You fell unconscious
What do you mean?
over there. You and Macy fell unconscious.
But we were. What happened to Maisie?
She fell at the same time as you. I was hoping to wake you up.
Grab my bag. Grab my bag. There should be some smelling salts in the bag. Bring them here, or crack one and just put it under her nose. Just gently. Don't go too close. Just enough to where she can breathe it in.
Richard, please, the bag.
Yup. I go get the bag. I mean, I figure Richard knows what smelling salts are. It smells of salt, right? That's how it works.
I'm pretty sure it's not salt.
No, I know. He would have probably smelt that smell before. I mean, with the amount of brawls that he's been in, so I think he's gonna take the bag and as he brings it, rummage through it and try to get the smelling salts out.
Easy enough to do, easy enough to find. As you go to reach and wake Maisie up, you smell something else. You go inside and look for your smelling salts. And you all wake up in the beds you went to sleep in, with the smell of bacon in your nose. Coffee wafting up from upstairs. And Mr. Whitaker's standing at the door outside. Still on guard. Still on watch.
I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
Oh?
Am I
Why?
healed? Do I get my strength back? Was this all a dream?
I mean, you're not healed. You do get your strength back.
I don't like the Bradfords.
And we're gonna go on break right there.
I don't like the Bradfords is all I'm gonna say. Alright, we'll go on a short break and we'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes. See you in a bit, everyone. And we are back. Welcome back, everyone. I don't have any announcements. Go ahead, Deirdre.
Well, welcome back, y'all. As we left y'all waking up in the beds you went to sleep in that night, Bradford Ranch. Smell of coffee and bacon rousing you from your slumber.
Did that feel like a nightmare or...
Do we remember this time?
You remember everything that happened. Or everything that you're aware of. Only the doctor would be aware of what he saw. But you remember everything that happened. And as you rouse yourself to consciousness, you hear the chiming of the clock, grandfather clock downstairs, chiming the hour. 7 o'clock. 7 chimes ring out. And you see opening the door, Mr. Whitaker, Mrs. Bradford coming out of her room. She sees you there. She smiles. Thank you, Richard. Your presence last night and was a kindness for us. It was a relief off of my mind knowing my guests would be well taken care of. I'm going to be going...
There's been an incident, ma'am.
What kind of incident?
Do I see the other guests at the moment? Am I with them? Or we're just talking in the hallway?
You were right back where you fell asleep, sir. Leaning against the wall.
Okay. So I'll just tell Lady Bradford, I might have dozed off a little bit.
Well, Richard, I'm sure it wasn't very long.
Okay.
And I know that you keep us safe.
I did.
Well, that's a good thing, Richard. You're very helpful in that. You're very useful. Why don't you go see if you can get yourself some breakfast and maybe make sure that well, no, I can't do that. See if we can get some of the wagons together. I know that our guests are probably going to want to go back to town, and I have some business in town today.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you, Richard. She walks across the hall, knocks loudly on Geraldine's door. You hear it. Maisie, you also hear Geraldine go, "I'm coming!"
And Maisie, shoots up.
What's wrong with you?
Where did you go last night?
I didn't go anywhere. I was right here.
No, you weren't. I woke up in the middle of the night last night to some scratching sounds on the wall, and you were gone. And when I went to go look for you, we got attacked by flying bugs and red creatures with bitey things.
Are you okay, Maisie? That sounds like a real bad nightmare. I didn't go anywhere. I'm right here.
Well, then you must have started sleepwalking.
I literally went nowhere.
You can't have gone nowhere. You were not here when I woke up.
Well, when did you wake up? Because I've been asleep here all night, and you didn't wake up all time. Sounds like you had yourself a real bad nightmare. Are you well? Do we need to see the doctor for you?
You never believe me when I say anything.
I always believe you, but there's some things that are just... I was right here. I didn't go nowhere. See, my slippers are still there. Your slippers are over there. Dressing gowns on the bed. There's no water anywhere here. I didn't go nowhere.
Is there anything out of place? Is Maisie still injured? Does she still have the burns on her?
No. Nothing's out of place. There are a couple red marks on your neck. But they don't look like burns.
What do they look like?
You slept funny?
Like,
Bugged you with something? Or bug bite, maybe?
Well, if you should come back to town with me.
Well, yeah, I have to go to work tomorrow. School's been closed for 3 days. Can't leave the little ones alone that long. They start thinking that it's never going to be open again and getting a little out of control.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I have to talk to the doctor and the father. And, let's go to breakfast.
All right. The two of you get dressed, head down to breakfast. Again, in the main dining room. There's a full spread today. Bacon, eggs, grits, coffee. Tea is what Genevieve Bradford is sipping on as you come in, sitting in that same chair she was last night. Father, doctor, what do you do?
I wanna pray and use my divination.
All right.
Dreams that vivid, and then I'm sure that I feel that I'm not at full HP.
Very true. Your strength has come back, but you're not at full health. No.
Yeah, something definitely feels off. If it was just a bad dream and I felt okay, but I feel like worse for wear from it. And that's the alarming part.
Well, first you're gonna roll me that D4, right? No, it's a It's a D4 to see how long, and a D6 to see, one to see how long, and one to see it takes, and one to see how many method points it.
Yeah, it's a D10 for time and D6 for magic.
Time. Yep.
1, 10. Oof. All my magic. And yeah, as I'm sitting on my bed, just grasp my holy symbol, and God, is there evil within this house? and I just concentrate really hard on that. It's like try to like block out the noise and
it's noisy. Morning on a ranch, there's lots going on.
for sure.
Horses, ranch hands. You hear the sounds of breakfast being consumed. Takes you a might bit of time. Takes you almost half an hour. You hear it's hard to concentrate. It's not what you're used to. And you hear in your mind, evil battles for all men's souls. But it doesn't win.
And with that, I'll make myself presentable and I guess go downstairs.
While that's going on, Doctor, what are you doing this morning?
I would assume the doctor would wake up and really question himself as to what the hell he went through last evening or through the night. Apparently that was a really, really, really horrible nightmare that he ran into. But just going from that, would wake up, get himself together, and presentable, and then make himself downstairs ready for breakfast. Needs a nice strong cup of coffee after that last evening.
As you all come down to breakfast, you see Mrs. Bradford sitting in the chair, sipping on her tea. There's a bowl of grits in front of her, but she doesn't seem to be not more than pecking at it lightly. There's cornbread, jam, biscuits. There's sausage and gravy for those folk that would like it.
Richard is stuffing his face.
Not at the table.
As I sit down, I want to look around the table and I want to study everybody and say, how did we all sleep last night? Just scan at everyone.
Because, well, seated at the table, you have Maisie and Geraldine, and it's you and the doctor. Richard is not there. He's dining with the other ranch hands in the bunkhouse. Same spread. Mrs. Bradford sets a good table for employees. Slightly larger portions out there. Want to make sure you can get enough food so you can eat. And unlimited coffee.
Oh yeah. Just straight from the kettle. Just
That's your choice, I guess.
Maisie is drinking the largest cup of black coffee.
Right.
When father asks about how we're doing, she just very obviously looks towards Geraldine, looks back at the father and just shakes her head.
Yeah, no, I'm looking up from the cup of coffee as well as just giving father a very stern eye as to his question.
Well, I don't know about you, sister, but I slept very well. It was quite pleasant evening after dinner last night. Geraldine responds to Genevieve and to the father. And Genevieve says, well, I know it's a mite early, but I have to be heading into town. I have some business at the bank I need to be taking care of for Theodore's estate, and but I have told Mr. Whitaker that he can take y'all back to town in one of the wagons.
Do you mind if I join you now? I'm not particularly hungry. I also have business to attend to in town.
Well, I'm going to be going actually in a little bit, but if that's your choice, I'm sure we can go together. Give me a few to get things organized.
Thank you.
Then she gracefully gets up, walks to the door, out the door into the kitchen. You hear some rough, muddled words, and she comes back. Well, I've told the staff to get one of the wagons ready now, so we can go back. Is everyone ready? We'll all go back then. It's fine. And
I am ready. Thank you for allowing me to come with you. Earlier than expected.
not a worry, Father. Not a worry. I'm quite flat. I hope you slept well, and hope you enjoyed your evening.
The bed was nice.
You're always welcome to come back here, Father. We'd like to take care of our local priests. It's a shame that you couldn't have been here more frequently when Theodore was alive. And she kind of like takes the little handkerchief out of her sleeve and just kind of... Geraldine, are you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. I'll be there in a second. And what are the rest of you gonna do?
I'm gonna finish up what I was having and then head back to the room and gather my things so we can get back to town. Because the sooner I can get out of here, the better.
I think Maisie would be doing the same, kind of gathering her things. Probably more so than normal, avoiding Geraldine, who seems to think that Maisie's kind of lost it.
She doesn't think you lost it. But she's a little... You can look down and you see that she's a little concerned that you're avoiding her.
It's the passive-aggressive best friend fight. Like...
Yep. We're not fighting. Only because we're, not fighting.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm fine. Everything's fine. We're fine.
You're not talking to me. Oh, God, we're fine. Just go away. It's none of your business. Yeah, I'm very aware of it. Very aware of it. As you gather your things, settle yourselves up, you walk outside, and there's Mr. Whitaker with a different wagon this morning. One with a couple extra seats around the back instead of the stock wagon that he escorted into town yesterday.
No, I'm gonna be driving you back.
Thank you, Richard. I do appreciate it. And she reaches out a hand for you to help her up. Or one of you gentlemen to help her up. She's assuming somebody's going to help her.
Are you sure you want to help on that wagon, ma'am?
Well, yes, I need to go into town.
Now, is this Geraldine or Genevieve?
Both. They're both coming. This particular one is Genevieve.
All right.
Geraldine would call you Mr. Whitaker. Genevieve is your employer and calls you Richard.
So, I'll bring them up. I'm not going to try to argue.
Thank you, Richard. I do appreciate it. You are such a kindness. You're so wonderful for this. And the rest of you get into the wagon and head off. It's early. Sun's just rising behind you as you ride into town. It's a couple hours to town. Genevieve is sitting there, kind of, well, I do hope you enjoyed yourselves last night. It was quite a pleasure to have you there.
It was very pleasant. Excuse my rudeness for falling asleep at your dinner table. It was very unlike me.
Oh, it's okay, Father. Apparently we all did. It's most upsetting. I really do apologize. Usually I'm much better about these things. It's just everything's so been complicated lately.
Yes, I understand. In times like this, it is best to look on the inside and find out what really matters.
Yes, of course. When you reach inside and yourself and you can actually begin to think about everything that happens and how you can achieve anything.
Sometimes the greatest loss can be the greatest gain.
Yeah. My Theodore.
Can I roll something to see if she's faking it?
You want to roll a psychology?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Richard, like, I mean, he was working at the ranch when Theodore passed away.
Yep.
So he knows her to be bereaved and everything, but I don't know, he finds something odd about her, and after last night, he's starting to doubt his employer.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck it.
She seems to be...
Was a shot in the dark.
As far as you're aware, she's very... You have seen them before. You were working and living on this ranch for a period of time before Theodore died. You are very familiar with the events of what happened immediately after the gentleman had his stroke in his study. You definitely saw her almost inconsolable, crying over his dead body. Had to be dragged away and by her sister and a couple other people, and you were there when she occasionally very much puts on the lady of the manor perfect manners, but you watched her and Theodore before they were, and you almost 100% sure they really did care for each other.
Okay. She didn't murder him.
No, but do you say that out loud?
No. But that's what he says in his mind.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they just seemed like an ordinary happy couple, right? Like, prior to his death.
Prior to his death is...
as far as I would know, like, with, like, the history of...
As far as you are aware, or anybody else would be aware, they were, they'd been married for a few years. They didn't have any children. They were happily married. There was a little bit of... Genevieve Bradford was known for being very... the epitome of a Victorian lady, if you want to use that terminology. Restrained, graceful, not overly emotional in public, not given to fainting, to your awareness. But she was known to be slightly more emotional with her husband, I guess, for a given value of that. Folk had seen them walking arm in arm through town. They'd see them holding hands, occasionally kissing, minor things that, wouldn't have gotten even mentioned. You were, they were happily married. And if nobody has any questions, comments, queries, thoughts, concerns, quandaries, fears, and or inquiries.
We have lots of fears.
And lots of questions, just maybe none to ask at the present moment.
Yeah.
We'll just wind the clock forward a little bit and y'all reach town. Mrs. Bradford gets out of the wagon. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate your assistance. If you could see to the horses, and I'll probably be here a few hours if you can take care of that. Maisie, darling, it was wonderful to have you again here last night. We'll have to come visit again. Geraldine, are you staying in town tonight, or are you coming back to the ranch? Well, no, I'm going to stay in town. I'm got to go to work tomorrow. I'm teaching kids. And they, Father, Doctor, it was a pleasure to have you. And you see her kind of wave behind you and at the banker who's standing behind you. And she proceeds to walk towards the bank. And Geraldine reaches out a hand and grabs Maisie's hand and says, and leans in, goes, I'm gonna be staying at the schoolhouse tonight if you want to come talk. And just kind of walks off, leaving the four of you in the street.
Want to grab a drink?
No, thank you. It is a bit early for me, Richard. But,
I feel
Dr. Anders, I think that maybe there is something we need to discuss. I'm feeling slightly under the weather.
Well, then why don't we step over into my office and we can discuss what's going on.
Very good.
After you, Father.
I shall lead the way.
Miss Coldwater, do you want me to bring you back to the store?
Yeah, that would be nice, I think. Although I might need to take a stop over at the doc's office too at some point.
Okay.
But yeah, I should go check on the store first.
I have a question for the keeper.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at my rifle this morning, it was missing a bullet, wasn't it?
Yep.
Okay. So as we're walking to the store, Richard will just turn to Maisie and ask, or say, I should say, you're a fair good shot.
Thanks. I think it was a lot of adrenaline.
So you're...
So that... You remember things?
Yup.
You've been working at the ranch for a while. Have you seen something like that before?
Nope. You?
Any ideas as to what it was?
Priest was right. It was the work of Satan.
That does seem to be the consensus.
It's a monster from the nightmares. I would keep my wits about me if I were you, Miss Coldwater. And, for your own safety, I would advise you stay away from the Bradfords. I think they're bad news.
Is there anything aside from last night that makes you say that?
Isn't last
I don't
night
know.
enough?
Well, it wasn't the Bradfords that did anything to us.
They have monsters in their house.
Sir, I hate to break it to you, but there have been monsters all over town for days now.
What? What? And you see Richard looks around, worried.
This isn't the first time I've seen something like that here.
Well then. This town just got a lot more interesting.
We've seen one like that in another house in town, and after putting all the pieces together, it sounds like the Father, Doc, and George saw something real similar out in the mines, too.
Well then. I think I should get a job in town then. I don't want to go back to the ranch if I might be honest with you.
I mean, do you think Mrs. Bradford is going to be okay out there by herself? Maybe you could talk her into staying in town for the night with her sister.
Alright. And before he leaves, because I assume our conversation brings us to closer to the general store, Richard will ask, and if I might be so bold as to ask Miss Coldwater, if there Mr. Coldwater?
Only my daddy.
I didn't mean anything by it, but you're a mighty fine shot.
Well, thank you, sir.
He is not good at socializing. It hurts me inside.
It hurts us all.
Bid you good day, Miss Coldwater.
As you turn back down the street, Mr. Whitaker, can you and Maisie make me a listen check?
For sure.
And a spot hidden. Either one. You're going to get different information with both.
Can we do
I
both?
rolled the
Or?
listen first. Are we doing both?
You can do both. You're going to get different information. Ooh, all the good things.
Mm-hmm.
This is Maisie's skills.
Maisie did real well.
It's not hitting things, it's looking at stuff.
You're good at pointing them out.
She's good at pointing them out. All right. So then, as you turn and look down the street, you see a couple things. You see Miss Nellie Connors standing on the steps of the bank, shaking Genevieve's hand, Mrs. Bradford's hand. You see Jeff Billows sitting on the porch of the saloon with his feet up on the post, on the rail, leaning the chair back, glaring at the church. You see Dr. Benjamin Adams sitting on the porch of the jail, the book in his lap. It's not a language either of you recognize. Well, that's not true. It's not a language Mr. Whitaker recognizes. It's not a language Miss Maisie reads, but it does look to be like that. Well, you think it might be that, picture language from Egypt that they managed to figure out less than a generation ago. And sitting there with a large book, smoking a cigarette, watching Mr. Billows at the saloon. And you hear, with that listen check, Mrs. Connors say to Mrs. Bradford, well, it's been such a blessing in a number of years. I do agree, after so long living in that house by myself, it's time to get rid of it. You are right. And I'll come in. I'm going to move closer to my sister. She lives over in Albuquerque. It'll be nice to get closer to her, and we can get a little bonding. As she shakes Genevieve's hand. Genevieve leans down and does the, European kiss on both cheeks to Miss Nellie Connors as she escorts her back up the street towards the saloon. Well, restaurant next to the saloon.
Wait, who's moving out?
Mrs. Nellie Connors. Lady well known to most folk in town as the former teacher of the schoolhouse, taught most folk in town. Retired not but 6 months ago when Geraldine took over.
Okay.
That's all you see.
Would Maisie know that would Maisie know anything about Nellie leaving? Like, would she know?
Hasn't been talked about. This is the first you're hearing of it. You know that she's lived in Four Corners her entire life. You know, well, that's not true. She moved out here with her husband, and then he died relatively quickly when they started farming, or attempting to farm, and she took over as school teacher when she was young. She never had any children of her own, but every child that walked through that schoolhouse door was one of hers. She knew everybody in town. She knows everybody in town. She's well known for taking care of folk. She's another one you were right convinced would have to go out that door. The only way she'd be leaving this place would be in a pine box. You're also pretty sure that she hasn't spoken to her sister in nigh on over a year.
I don't know them people. Something bothering.
No, it's just odd that Mrs. Connors would choose to leave. I wonder if something happened to make her want to go so bad.
Perhaps she saw the monster.
Yeah, I can't help but wonder. She was my teacher. She's been everybody in town's teacher. I thought you'd have to drag her away from Four Corners, either in a box or kicking and screaming.
She weren't my teacher. I'm very perceptive. Alright, I'm gonna try to see if I can convince Lady Bradford to... I think I need to see the doctor. You have yourself a good day, Miss Coldwater.
And you too, sir. Stay close. Stay close, okay? Just in case those things come back.
I will.
And
You own a rifle, Miss Coldwater?
oh, now that I've got my things, she pats a pouch in her belt that has a revolver in it, and she's like, and I got Susie under the counter in the store.
Good. Good.
And Maisie might turn to go in the store, and did it look like Nellie was kind of wandering off? Like, was she leaving?
Well, it looked like she and Genevieve were walking together into, like, the restaurant attached to the saloon.
Okay. Maisie is gonna go in the store, and she's gonna make up like a little bag, maybe with like some wrapping paper bow, of some of the peppermints that she usually gets in for Genevieve. Yeah, and she probably wraps up 2 little packages, and she takes them over to the restaurant. And sees if they're still waiting, if they're sitting down somewhere.
They're sitting in the window, kind of talking, having a cup of coffee.
And she just goes in and she says, sorry to interrupt your ladies, your breakfast, your lunch.
Maisie, y'all should sit down. I was just talking to Genevieve about when my dear husband passed, and it's been so long. We're celebrating. Maisie, have a seat. Jenny, pull up a chair, Maisie. Pull up a chair. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I did want to, I brought some peppermints for you, Mrs. Bradford, as a thank you for your hospitality yesterday. And Mrs. Connors, when I saw you walking out here, I realized that, I may not have been the easiest to have in class. But I wanted to say thank you. All of the teaching you've done these past many years for me has really helped me out the past couple of days.
Oh, darling, you are not any worse than anyone else that came through my door. Not brighter than some of the folk that come through my door, but not any problem that most of them have. So and she's gonna, this is so sweet of you. And Genevieve's like, oh, Maisie, you didn't have to. You know you're always welcome at the house.
I know, but I don't feel like I always show my appreciation for your hospitality. And since we just got a new stack of peppermints in and they would be fresh, I thought this would be an opportune moment.
Well, aren't you the sweetest? I really do appreciate you, Maisie. You really are a treasure, and I'm so pleased for you.
So what you said you ladies were talking about something?
Oh, yes, I've decided I sold the property. I sold it to Genevieve here, and I'm going to go visit my sister in Albuquerque.
Oh, it's been a while since you've seen your sister, hasn't it? I feel like I remember some letters that used to come through, but maybe not so much anymore.
Yeah, it's fine. She was being a little weird. I mean, well, realistically speaking, I was slightly concerned about the young gentleman that she was employing on her property, and I thought he was taking advantage of her, and then she was telling me some other things about how he wasn't actually taking advantage of her, but he might. It was very weird.
Oh, that's quite. I can understand why you might be wanting to go out there to check in on her then.
Yes, I really think I do need to do that.
Can Maisie, can I roll a psychology check?
Mm-hmm.
On that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm rolling really well today.
Mm-hmm. She seems to be very convinced that she's happy about this decision that she made. She's concerned about her sister, who apparently had a young gentleman who was working for her, that Nellie was upset about this.
Wait, she hired an actual working boy?
Yes, that was the whole thing.
That's why Deidre kept bringing it up. Maisie's just... Well, I'm glad to hear that your sister is going to be getting your wonderful advice and mentorship. And it sounds like, Mrs. Bradford, you've got a wonderful deal. It's always nice to get some new property out here in Four Corners. And I'm glad to see it stay in the Four Corners family, not going to somebody from outside of town,
No, we wouldn't want any of those outsiders coming in here and purchase. No, Mrs. Connors, Miss Nellie's spread is attached to the south end of ours. It's not that much farther. We'll be fine. It'll also be perfect. And she kind of leans in, looks at the two of you. I heard from a little bird that a certain young gentleman might be asking a certain question of my sister. But you don't know anything about that.
Oh, really? I am Geraldine will be looking forward to the surprise, and I would hate to spoil it for her.
Oh, yes, of course. Are you gonna sit down and join us, Maisie? It'll be quite a pleasure. We'll have ourselves a grand time.
Well, I actually think I need to go check in with the doctor. I got some supplies in the last shipment. I've been behind past couple of days, with all of everything going on in town. I want to make sure that I start getting everybody their orders back. But I appreciate the conversation, and it's been wonderful to catch up with both of you wonderful ladies.
All right. Well, I'm not leaving quite yet, but I'll see you in a few. If you need to come see me, I'll be out at the ranch. All right.
Okay, I'll see you around. Bye-bye.
And as you pan down, we're gonna pan over to Richard. With that extreme success on that spot hidden, you did notice that the gentleman sitting on the front porch of the jail, staring very intently at Mr. Billows, is very heavily armed. Not obvious about it, except for the 2 shoulder-holstered revolvers. But you can see a blade. You can see the Derringer up his sleeve. And you're pretty sure that stick that's leaning next to him, that's a blade as well. And while he's definitely glancing down at the book on his lap and turning pages, he's staring much more intently at Mr. Billows.
What is Mr. Billows doing?
Well, he's sitting with his feet up on the porch of the saloon, staring at the church. And when he saw the doctor and priest start to go down toward the doctor's office, he shifted himself, and now he's staring there. And you see his rifle sitting next to him.
I'm gonna go see the heavily armed person.
Alright.
Howdy.
Good day. How are you, sir? Can I assist you in some manner?
I'm tired.
Well, I am a doctor. I can do something about that. And he closes his book and sets it down and...
Don't look like a doctor.
I am a doctor. Well, I was a doctor. Now I partake in other things. I do have my medical degree. I got it at the university in Heidelberg.
Does it help knowing where to shoot?
Sometimes. Also helps knowing how to fix up when somebody gets shot.
What about when, And he'll just let his voice trail and look at Mr. Bellows again and change subject. What's his deal?
Apparently, he's looking at your priest rather intently. He's been here for a couple hours staring at that church.
You know him?
No.
Reckon I don't either.
You know Mr. Billows.
Wait. Oh, he's the... Yeah, okay, sorry. Oof. There's so many people.
Yes, there are.
And,
For the reminder of the party and the people watching, Jeff Billows was ordered to keep a scope on the priest last night.
Mm-hmm. Can you fix when someone's blood has been drained from their neck?
Like with a leech or something of that nature?
Imagine a giant leech.
He looks at you very intently. He gets up, puts his book down. Do you mind?
Doesn't look like much.
No. No, it doesn't. Was this giant leech? Did you see it before it started sucking your blood?
I was asleep.
It happens that way. Did it cut you?
I mean, I'm gonna ask out of game, Deirdre. The attack it did, like,
Well,
it
no,
only like latched itself on me and started sucking. Right? There wasn't anything else.
When the tentacle first wrapped around you, it cut you.
It cut me. Okay.
That's the damage, yeah.
That's okay. Yeah. How come you know that?
He glances around the street, glances over his shoulder. I know a lot of things. I study a lot. Also been a lot of places.
Would you mind going to the doctor with me? I don't think you can repair me in the street right there.
No, I don't think I can. I might actually need some equipment to assist you. But yes. And he reaches down and picks up his book, which he slides into a bag over his shoulder, grabs this stick next to him.
And I'll...
After you.
Oh. I know of someone else who needs a doctor. I'll just go and get him.
Pleasure. I'll meet you there then.
Yeah. And I'll go back to get Maisie.
Mm-hmm. She's coming out of the restaurant by this now.
Miss Coldwater,
Oh, yeah?
how many people in town know about them monsters?
I mean, as far as I know, it's you, me, Father, the Dr. Anders, and George, but of course, George is still recovering.
Oh,
Oh, and June.
I don't... Whoa, wait. That lady at the Goodnight place?
Yeah, Miss June, not,
I didn't know.
she serves kind of as a muscle.
She throws a mean punch.
Yeah, that she does.
We can add another person to your list. You want to come with me to the doctor?
Well, I can't very well say no after that intriguing invitation.
Oh, I meant... Sorry, it's the heavily armed gentleman. He was... And Richard points to where Dr. What's his face? Fuck. Adams.
Benjamin Adams.
Benjamin Adams was where Dr. Adams was a few minutes ago.
As you see him now walking towards the doctor's office.
Oh, well, that's a new one. Of course, I have to. Let's go. I need to see what.
Yeah.
Maybe he knows something that we don't know.
I might have should have warned Mr. Anders and Dr. Anders and Father Makarov before. Hope they're not gonna gun him down.
I don't think they would have that immediate reaction, but we'll find out.
And we're going to pan over to the doctor's office as Dr. Benjamin Adams walks up the door and goes to knock. Father, what were you talking about just moments ago?
Doctor, how did you sleep last night? Did you dream well?
If you're implying what I think you're implying, Father, then I'm pretty sure that question was rhetorical. We didn't sleep at all. I don't feel like. I can't tell if it was 3 or 4 cups of coffee I had, but I'm still reeling from last night's events.
What do you remember?
There was one of those things from the Banks Ranch and the mine, and blood from you and that Richard fellow, and burning insects and Miss Bradford being passed out. It's kind of a mash of a lot of different things right now.
Do you think it's suspicious that Genevieve seemed okay?
I do find it odd. I mean, if Maisie's aware and Richard and yourself and me, I would only assume that Genevieve would have been affected. But it does strike me as odd that she seemed to be quite all right this morning.
Do you think we should ask her directly?
I say we get everybody together and maybe we just kind of think about this before we go asking strange questions to some folks.
Do we trust Richard?
I mean,
we had the same dream, but he is in her employ.
I mean, I can't really say one way or the other right now whether we should be presumptuous against Miss Bradford, but I'm not entirely certain. I mean, I'd like to talk it over with Maisie and, well, George once he comes around. Speaking of which, I should probably check on George.
Where's George?
Unconscious in his apartment above the jail, and that's when you hear the knock on the front door.
I thought he would be like passed out, like behind us, and like the backdrop of the scene. He's like, ugh.
No, he's
No.
actually in a coma.
Hmm. Yep. He's in a coma at the moment. And there's a knock at your door, Doctor.
Excuse me, Father. Let me see who that is.
Of course.
I'll go ahead to the door.
It's Dr. Benjamin Adams. Dr. Anders, I apologize for this presumption. A very large, slightly rough-looking gentleman said that he had an encounter last night with a oversized leech type item.
And is Richard with Benjamin?
Not
Or
yet.
no, okay, he's at the store. That's right, he's getting Maisie. I'm pretty certain this is not quite the place for discussion of sorts.
Yes, I mentioned. Thank you. And he looks back over his shoulder to see.
I think
Richard.
we'd be making our way there.
Yeah, you'd probably be getting there just about then.
Mhm.
This is not the place for this conversation. We should be having it inside.
I agree. And then I'll wave Maisie and kind of give her a puzzled look that Richard's with her.
Ah, good. My patient.
Oh, this is the gentleman you were referring to.
Hi.
Guys, come on in. Let's talk about this inside.
I have a question for you, Doctor. Do you have on your presences, nettle, dandelion, and mugwort?
I can't say for certain that I do, Dr. Adams. Is there a particular reason you need these things?
Well, the encounter that this gentleman had with the slightly oversized thing that was definitely not a leech, and you couldn't see it until it tried to suck your blood out. he looks at you very intently at that point.
I look at Richard with a raised eyebrow.
What?
I'm not actually certain that I would have these things on hand. I don't know if Maisie would at the store or.
Well, we'll figure it out. He lost a lot of blood. It's faster and easier. Iron is necessary, and red meat can be helpful, but it's not the quickest way to get it. Dandelion root mixed with mugwort and nettle will increase your iron production. It's used very effectively and used for centuries to treat anemia.
And then I'm assuming as a double physician, I would know this? Or is this something that's not of modern or...
Roll me an intelligence check.
All right. That's a fail, but I will spend 3 luck to make that a success.
You've heard of that combination?
Mhm.
But it's not something that's been used in medical science in centuries. It's almost medieval in its treatment.
I'll have to see what we can dig up, Doctor. Maisie, do you happen to have any of this at the store, perhaps?
I don't think that those would be the kind of things that Maisie would carry. Like, the only medical things that she would be carrying regularly are things that the doctor ordered. She would say, no, but I think at least a couple of those things grow around here.
Yes, we can find them. Is there anyone else we're treating at the time?
Father, you encountered the same thing, I presume?
I did, but I think I will be okay.
And
Dr. Adams, you seem to know quite a bit about some of these things going on here.
didn't know things were going on, but I know a lot about a lot of things. I've traveled extensively.
What about burning flying bugs? I think because Maisie still has a lot of HP damage, so I'm guessing she still has those red marks on her neck at least, and on her arm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They're there. He looks very intently. Do you mind this cold water?
Sure, sir. For since you are a doctor.
Yes, I have a degree from Heidelberg that says that I am. And he looks very intently at these. There's no blistering, no damage to the extremities, but very obviously a burn mark. Were you... Huh. I didn't know they still existed. And on that note, we're going to end for the night. And pick up there next week.
Wait, Scott, is this going to be like the beginning of next episode? The shade, throwing shade between the doctors, trying to out-doctor the other.
God, I hope so. I really do.
We'll get the best care for free because each of them is gonna try to care for us best than the other one. Oof. I don't know if it was a good idea to bring Dr. Adams, but it's done.
I'm not convinced it was a good idea to bring you.
Right? I don't know you.
Well, you know, if you
Here
don't
we
want
are.
me here, I can leave. Well, we'll see. We'll see about Richard and his antics and a hair in my coffee. By the way, today was brought to you by the word mugwort, which I'd never heard before in my life.
Oh.
It makes two of us.
Yep. It's cool, and I want to try it.
It's used pretty frequently in medicinal teas. It's also an anticoagulant.
It's a homemade vampire killer. So,
Alchemy.
Yeah. Let's just go around the table. We'll do our outros. So who are you? Where can we find you? What do you have going on the interwebs? Let's begin with Miss Coldwater. Kelly.
Hi. So I'm Kelly at Kelly Lane on Twitter, which is where if you check out my pinned tweet, you can find my detailed schedule. Big highlights are this show, obviously. Tomorrow I'll be popping up on Encounter Roleplay's 48 Hour stream a couple times, once playing Call of Cthulhu in the morning, run by Will, and once running Honey Heist myself later that night. It's my first time running Honey Heist, so I'm really excited about it. Tuesday nights and Wednesday nights, you can find me on Scraticus Academy. Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. EST, playing in Curse of Strahd. Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. EST, playing in Dynama, which is actually a Weave system game. Very cool. The playset was written by our GM for that game, so it's very exciting. And yeah, I just pop up all over the place. Today was great. This was super fun. I enjoyed our romp through the Bradford Manor. And I like how I really like the dynamic of how everybody's like, there's weird stuff going on, but maybe we shouldn't talk about it too much because people might think we're nuts. So I definitely enjoyed today's game a lot.
Mr. Doctor. Mr. Doctor.
So I am Scott. I'm at Berserker Rage on Twitter. You can catch me here on Saturday evenings on the wonderful Go West campaign that we were playing in. It was a lot of fun this evening, even if we're all affected by the wonderful, hey, it was all a dream card. So, but no, I'm having a ton of fun, and Deidre is actually wonderful as our keeper. So thank you all for having me, and I look forward to coming back again and again and again.
Thank you for coming, and thank you also, Kelly, for coming and playing today. And our last player, before we move on to our keeper, Mr. Priest.
Hi guys, name's Quentin on the internet. I'm at Fraggin on Twitter, but I don't really post anything. I just retweet all of anybody who I follow. I just retweet all of their stuff. I'm just a retweet bot. So follow everybody else, and then yeah, do that. You can find me here on Simon's channel on Saturdays, and whenever he invites me to play any other cool games that he has going on. So thank you again, Simon and Deirdre, for just being super awesome. And I'll let Deirdre take it away.
Well, thank you, folks. As you all know, I'm at Deirdre Donlan on Twitter, and Praxagora Thesmophoria is you see me hanging out in the Twitch chat. I'm here every Saturday driving these fine folk mad, as I love to do. Tomorrow, you can find me over on Katie Face's channel as I play some mini campaign of Honey Heist. The highlight of last week was a French sun bear over dramatizing being shot with a tranquilizer dart. Everything in that sentence is exactly what you expect it to be.
But everything in that sentence is not something you hear every day.
I will now go check the VOD on that one.
Yeah.
Just go with it. You need to see it. And then on tomorrow night, I'm over with Simon on the Shattered Eye as we apparently woke up a black dragon. So now we have a manticore and a black dragon. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. We'll be over on Soul Bear RPG for Shattered Eye with the Shattered fam and in their drama. And then Monday night, I'm back here and Simon's in charge and we'll see what happens. Yeah, it'll be fun. All for the dark matter. What come for the dark matter.
Yep. And, well, I'm Simon at Wandering DM. Hey, this is my channel. You'll see the entire schedule popping up right after this stream is over. Let's check out who are we going to raid today. Who's online at the moment?
Scratton Mike.
Scratton Mike. I think I'm gonna go with Mike today. Raid.
Yeah, it's the extra life. It's the extra life.
It's the extra life charity stream, so that's even better. Plus, I mean, I'm DMing Mike on Thursdays, where we play Warhammer, so it's going to be kind of a drop-in visit to dropping a visit, visiting a friend. My brain has just decided to switch itself off, guys. Oof. So on that note, have a good weekend, and I will see you tomorrow for the Shattered Eye, over on Soul RPG, or on Monday for Dark Matter. Ciao, everyone.